If you are a coach, consultant, or an info owner in general, and you are running a straight call funnel or a VSL funnel, then in this video I'm going to go over how we are supplementing traditional call funnels to get cheaper and high intent, high qualified leads at scale, so we tap into a bigger portion of the market. We are liquidating our ad spend from day one, and it's allowing us to scale without risking cash up front. Now, with call funnels, right, in 2026, what we're seeing is that a call funnel only hits a top 3% of what we call the automatic conversion market. With marketing, if you know something, if you know about this thing, right, this concept called awareness stages, we have the most aware, and then you have the unaware, right? You have stages in marketing. The most aware in marketing is called the automatic conversion market, and that is only the 3% of the market. So with the call funnel, once you exhaust that pool of the market out, the KPIs drop, the economics back out. Now, call funnels are really good, right? There's a lot of people making money with it. I've ran call funnels in the past myself, but they're the best when you are running B2B and B2C even, but to validate your offer, right? Just to validate your offer and get some quick cash in, right? But to actually scale with the call funnel, it's not as easy as this model I'm about to share. Now, your cost per qualified book call keeps climbing as you spend, because the call funnel is only designed to work for that 3% of the market that is ready to buy now. As you exhaust that pool of the market out, your cost per qualified book call keeps climbing up. Because of that, you have volatile customer acquisition costs, and the show rate is around 50%, which means Meta is going to optimize for calendars and not buyers, right? You're spending, let's say, $1,000 on ads, and right, you get a few schedules, and only 50% of the people show up, and only 50% of those people close, right? And Meta is going to keep optimizing for the schedules, right? The same people that show up 50% of the time, the same people that close 50% of the time, right? So as you scale, your lead quality is going to get worse. And this funnel structure is training the algorithm against you, right? And also you have a 7 to 14 day reinvestment cycle with this model. You're spending money on ads today and you're getting it back like 7 to 14 days later, right? Which means that scaling becomes scary, right? You're spending money today, it's coming back. There's no guarantee it's going to come back, and the scaling is, really risky. Now, if you know Dan Kennedy, he said that whoever can spend the most to acquire a customer wins, right? If you know Dan Kennedy, he's one of the OG marketers. So the question is, right, for you, the question is that how do you shorten that reinvestment cycle that comes with the traditional call funnel and get majority of your ad spend back the same day, so you get more qualified calls for cheaper, get consistent customer acquisition costs, all while getting Meta to optimize for buyers instead of same unqualified leads and same unqualified calendar schedules? Well, and also you can get high show rates, better closers, less pressure on your sales team, and you can scale with confidence by tapping into a bigger portion of the market and break out of that 3% of the market and tap into the other 97% of the market that is untapped, right? How do you do that? Well, what we do is do something called a low ticket call funnel, and it's not like a traditional call funnel where we sell a low ticket product. We have built-in upsells after they buy the low ticket and liquidate 50 to 80% of your ad spend from day one and send those buyers into high ticket. Let me show you how this works at a technical level. Now, we get Meta ads from Meta for low ticket statics, usually crush. We get ads from Meta to a low ticket page that looks something like this. Now, the product is priced around $17 to $27, and the whole philosophy of the product is that it should solve, let me pull this up, one bleeding neck problem, right? Or give them a solution. It shouldn't be a whole big course bundled into a $17 product. You need to identify one problem or give one solution in the first 60 minutes of them buying the logical product, right? The whole goal of the logical product is to get them a quick win, right? Could be an emotional win, could be a financial win, or could be a educational win, right? If you can get them that, if they can pull out their card and get a win from you, get that quick dopamine after paying you, right? They're going to go to the next step, right? Now, you can have a lot of formats with the low ticket product. It could be a challenge, it could be a webinar, it could be a case study, it could be some done for you assets, or you could bundle a lot of things and give it to them, right? Now, Also, another thing with the logical product is that you have to minimize beliefs and time limitations and investment limitations, right? And the most important part, right? Does your logical product solve problem A that naturally reveals problem B? This is crucial for Ascension. I was talking to one of the dating coaches the other day, and he was like, okay, we launched a logical product in the past, and it did not work for them because they gave too much away on the logical product. And when they reached out to people for the high ticket, they were like, they were good. They got everything they needed. So you need to solve one problem, right? Or give one solution that naturally leads to problem B, which is your high ticket. So always you want to build from back end to the front end, right? You don't want to build from front end to back end to front end. Now with the logic product, when we get them, now here's what happens with the logic product, right? One, they get a demonstration of your methodology, which means that they know you, like, you, trust you once they get that quick win. Another is that they're pulling their card out, right? A buyer is always superior to a freebie, right? They're pulling their card out, which tells us that they have intent. They are an action taker. So you're building a transactional relationship from the start. Also, what you're doing is once they buy the logical product, you have 2 to 3 order bumps after they buy the logical product, right? That help them, get faster results. So your front end product could be, like a done for you case study, or like some case study or challenge, blah blah blah. And your order bump could be like a done for you asset, case study, or like something else, right, in a different format that helps them get better results, or helps them with something. The order bumps are usually priced anywhere from like $7 to $47. Now with the order bumps, the goal is to liquidate our ad spend, right? That's the whole goal with the order bumps. Right, once we have the order bumps, that's where we make real money. We have something called an Ascension Bridge, right? Now, if you look at this, right, if you notice, right, this is basically like a call funnel, but just supplemented a logical product on your front end, right? Now we can't just slap a straight call funnel right in front of them. We have to have a smooth transition. So once they buy the logical product, what we do is kind of affirm them on buying the logical product. And then we introduce a new problem that comes after buying the low ticket, right? So they buy the low ticket, and okay, we kind of affirm them, congratulate them, and future pace them on what's going to happen over the next few weeks or a few months of buying the low ticket product. Then we introduce a new problem that comes after buying it, right? If you remember, I just said problem A should lead to problem B. So they know how the logical product works, right? They know how the strategy works. Let's say your logical product is about a case study, or is like kind of a masterclass. They know how the strategy works, but implementing it and getting results is another thing, right? So the new problem you could talk about is implementation or customization or getting there faster, right? Could be any of these two things, or like something completely different, right? Once you introduce a new problem, right? Let me show you an example. So with this client, what we did was, okay, kind of affirmed them on buying the logic, congratulated them. Then we said, okay, knowing about the strategy is one thing, but actually doing is another, and actually getting results is another thing, right? You're different, your trading account is different, your capital is different, your time zone is different, and you are different, which means that you need like a personalized implementation strategy, right? And we kind of went in the micro problem that come with buying that logical product, and we said, okay, it's not because the product is bad, it's because people just don't implement it. That's why they don't get results. That's why you need a customized implementation strategy. Then once you introduce that, we can either like have a paid upsell, but what I like to do is have a free kind of a calendar, free call, right, with the setter. So we push them to a calendar, and we have a call with the setter, right, instead of a closure. What that setter does is, one, kind of make sure that they kind of implement the logical product, and two, qualifies them financially. Once that is done, we book them in with the closer, and we have a pre-call VSL from there, and it's like a normal sales ticket sale call funnel. Another way you can ascend them is just be straight up upfront with them on how or what was gonna happen, right? You can have like a straight up simple offer to them. Okay, you bought the logical product. Here's another thing I'm doing that is gonna get you faster and easier and better results in XYZ time, right? With that model, you're gonna get less percentage of people booking a call, but they're gonna be really high intent, right? If you have not run a call funnel before, I would recommend you doing the second one, which is just be really upfront about the high ticket program. But if you are already running a call funnel, already have a sales team and like setters and closers dialed in, then you're gonna do the first one, so you have like the capacity to handle all of that volume. Now For the recouping, what we do is, there's going to be a lot of people like dropping off and stuff. What we do is first we have, once they opt in for the high ticket or low ticket product and don't buy, we have, we have a dialer calling them up. We have SMSs and email automations going in the back end. Also, we have retargeting ads from Facebook that go over there. Now, once they do buy the low ticket product and don't book a call within the first 10 to 15 minutes of buying the low ticket product, again, it's the same thing. We have retargeting ads. We have a dialer calling them up, within the first 10 to 15 minutes of them buying the low ticket product. And, there's a script. It's like, usually what setters do. It's like the same script as that. But here, we introduce a implementation call for the low ticket. And the conversion is really high because they're already pre-sold on you. They bought the low ticket product. They paid you, right? And we position it as like a complimentary implementation call with one of our senior advisors, right? And again, we have over here normal calls. We have the SMSs and email automations. Now, another thing I forgot to go over was the implementation, right? We need to make sure that they actually go through the low ticket product. So once they do buy the low ticket product, right, we have a community on the back end that nurtures them, right? And we have like, new calls or Q&As and, kind of webinars running in the back end that send all these people back to the Ascension Bridge. On top of that, we have emails, like 7 to 14 day emails running in the back end, day 1, day 2, day 3 kind of implementation. And then slowly we transition into new problems and kind of belief shift them into believing that high ticket is the next obvious step for them to getting the best results possible. Now, again, pushing all of them to the Ascension Bridge, to the call funnel page, and then after that it's like this, right? Now, with the pre-call VSO page, it's at least 10 minutes, it should be 10 minutes, kind of handling all the limitations, beliefs about themselves and about the program. And, you have to make sure that they know what they're going to be getting on the call and how it's going to go like, and, it should be, get them ready, right? You don't want a unqualified prospect on the call, or like someone who doesn't know what's happening, or someone who doesn't know how to use Zoom. You need to make sure that they're ready in all aspects. Now, for one of our clients, we got them about 745 low ticket buyers on the front end, and we got them about 95 high ticket buyers from that, right? That is about 12% ascension rate. Now, you're probably not going to see that big of a number ascension rate. Usually, you're probably going to see about like 7 to 5% of people ascending to high ticket. The reason they got is so high because they were running like weekly webinars in the back end, right? If you can do that, you can probably see up to like conversion rates that high. But if you want this to be like automated, then you're going to see about 7 to 5% of conversions running in the back end. Now, let me just run you through a bit of numbers on what this could look like if you run it, the math, the liquidation, and ascension rate overall. So here's how the math is going to work out. You get about $45,000 to $55,000 for every 100 low ticket buyers. Let's just say you get about 300 low ticket buyers per month, right? And your cost per acquisition for each low ticket buyer is about $50. For this client, we saw about like even lower than this, but let's say it's $50, right? And you get about 300 buyers per month. That's $15,000 a month on ad spend. Pretty low, but I'm just kind of just saying, this is an example over here. So let's say your low ticket product is about $17, and you have only one order month, right? Instead of 3, you have only one order month with a 20% conversion rate. Your average order value is going to be $26. You're spending $50 to get one low ticket buyer, and you're getting $26 back. That is 52% liquidation. If you have one more bump on this, it can jump to about 70% liquidation, right? But I'm just having like one order month to give you the worst case scenario, like if you only have one of them. So over the course of the month, you're going to get about $7,800 back, and you're going to have 52% ad spend liquidation. Now we see about 30 to 50% of the people who book a call, who buy the low ticket, booking a call, right? And from there, we have about 70% of people showing up to calls, and about 1 in 3 people get close to the high ticket. Now, this number heavily depends on how much your offer is priced, how good your closer is, obviously, and how good your sales team is. But this is the kind of the average we see, right? If you have like a good setter, then this is kind of the average we will see, right? Now, with 35 people, right, out of the 300, right, 30 to 50% book a call, 70% show up, right, which is about 105 people, and you have about a 30% close rate on this, right? with 35 people converting to a $5,000 program, right? That's going to be about $175,000 in revenue after only spending $7,200 on ads to acquire those 300 logical buyers, right? After all the math, right, you're left with about $167,000 in profit, and that is only if you get about 300 buyers per month, right? Now, with this, let's say you have a closure rate that takes about 10% of the profit. You have a setter that takes about 5%. After that, you're left with pure profit, right? Now, you can take a percentage of that, put it back in ads, and scale that way, right? Now, this is only if you get 300 buyers per month, right? You can imagine what it would be like if you get about 400 buyers per month, or like 600 buyers per month, or like 1,000 buyers per month. If you know Jeremy Miner, I'm sure you guys know him. Jeremy Miner, he was getting about 200 buyers per day, right? He made a lot of money with his Logic product, Logic offer, and is crushing right now. So with this model, right, once the funnel is set up the right way, your business will start working for you instead of you working for it. Also, with this model, right, with the low ticket call funnels, one more client added almost $500,000 on top of their 200K a month webinar funnel that they were running. And it's not just him, right? If you guys know Caleb Box, he was also running a low ticket call funnel back then, and it took him from 50K a month to 250K a month in just 6 weeks. If you guys know Ben Kelly, he's the owner of aceacquisition.com. He got to about 41K days for his like 10K offer. He was selling to a really sophisticated audience, and he was struggling to get like the type of buyer he wanted. With this, he got to about 41K days with this model, right? Now, yeah, that was it for me. If you guys have any more questions, or if you are an info offer owner or like a coach, consultant, creator, and you want to launch a low ticket call funnel for yourself, then I'm gonna link down my Instagram. You can DM me over there.